Bonjour everyone, we are going to see how to differentiate between two kinds of research. One is a basic research, one is an applied research, and what is the conceptual framework. So basically they both are different. Basic and applied are different. There are a lot of side headings which are there which are different, but then their objective itself is different. So first of all, if I want to just clarify my curiosity about something, I want to increase my knowledge, I do basic research. It is a long time process and I need to just know something, that's it. But then applied research is you want to apply your research answer to a real world problem, and you want to get a solution. So that is a practical implication which is there. So based on these things, basic and applied research are different. So we also need to know about conceptual framework. Conceptual framework is basically it helps us, it is a structure. Okay, so it helps us to know what are the key concepts, what are the variables, what are the relationships, like everything. It is like a to-do list in which you write everything and keep. So we'll just see what is the difference between basic and applied research. First of all, definition. So it is just to expand the theoretical knowledge. Here it is to solve a real world issue. Why are you doing it? Because you want to improve your understanding. Here there's a specific issue and you want to solve the problem. What are the examples? Maybe physics, maths and stuff like that. But here you have medicine, engineering, like that. Here you have what is the approach? There's an abstract approach and here's a practical approach. What is the outcome? You have a new theory, that's it. At the end, you only have a new theory. But here in the practical, which is implied research, you have a solution. And you have created something, some improvement has happened in some process. So what is the time frame? Long term is your basic research, short term is your applied research. Then what are the examples? So for example, study how language is processed in the brain is very basic research. But you want to develop a tool for improving the pronunciation. That is going to be an applied research. So what is the conclusion in these two differences, the basic and applied research? Both the types of research are connected because with basic research you can go ahead and do applied research. With the help of applied research you can also do basic research. Both are interrelated. So what you need to know is that for discoveries in neuroscience, that is basic research, it contributes to development of cognitive therapies, that is for language disorders, that is applied research. So now we are going to conceptual framework. It is a structured representation of key concepts, theories and variables that guide the research. So it clarifies relationships between different elements and provides a roadmap for the study. So you want to do a research, you want a roadmap like a to-do list. So what you'll do is you want to, for example, I always take this example, baking a cake. So how do you bake a cake? Your hypothesis is you want to say that the cake becomes softer by increasing the number of eggs. So what happens is you make 3 cakes, one with 2 eggs, one with 1 egg, one with 3 eggs. So what you do is the milk of 1 cup milk stays constant, the maida stays constant, the baking powder stays constant, and even the vanilla essence stays constant. So your independent variable is the number of eggs which keeps changing. So what is that you need to know is the independent variable keeps changing and the dependent variable is the cake. That is dependent upon the change of the eggs. So your cake softness is changing, right? So it is dependent upon certain things. So what happens is everything else should be constant. So dependent and independent variables identifies what is being influenced. The cake is being influenced. So that is a dependent variable. what is causing the change? The eggs are causing the change. That is independent variable. So example, they are giving you in language. So they are saying that so you want to study, you want to do a study on bilingualism and cognitive skills. So cognitive flexibility could be a dependent variable. So at the end, I want to know how flexible I am, while the degree of bilingual proficiency could be the independent variable. So what is the degree of bilingual proficiency? So then you have theoretical foundations. So what is that? What is the framework having? What is the conceptual framework having? Number one, dependable and independent variables. What are your variables? Write them down, because that is your conceptual framework. So what is the theory? So for example, for in this cake example, you have a recipe from somewhere from Google. Take a recipe and keep it. In this particular case, it says that existing theories, any existing theories that are supporting your hypothesis, you can take that. Then you have mediating and moderating variables. That is, mediating variables explain the relationship between independent and dependent variables. So moderating variables are influencing the strength or direction of the relationship. So you can say in the cake example, mediating and moderating variables could be your maida, baking powder and stuff like that. So they don't change. They are all variables, but they don't change. So in studying the effects of online learning on language acquisition, engagement level could be a mediating variable, while internet accessibility could be a moderating variable. So that means internet accessibility is such a common thing that we'll forget, but then it is also a variable. So engagement level, is the student engaging in that particular app or not to develop that bilingual like flexibility? Is the student engaging themselves, yes or no? So that also is a variable. So last and final, what is the definition of what you want? So for example, operational definition is for the cake. What exactly is a kind of cake you want? Is it a pastry? Is it one with lots of nuts, or is it just a soft sponge cake? So basic soft sponge cake, you have to say that in your conceptual framework, saying that it defines a key concept in measurable terms. So if studying fluency, researchers must specify whether it refers to speed. Fluency means what? So first of all, your research is telling that we are studying the fluency, whether it will increase or decrease. So what exactly do you mean by fluency? Is it speed? Is it accuracy of using words? Is it complexity of speech? What exactly? So that is the conceptual framework. It is having 4 variables: dependent, independent, mediating and moderating variables, then theoretical foundations, then you have operational definitions are there. Then after that, what is its role? Why do you need this framework? Why do you need a roadmap to your research? Because you need a direction. So it clarifies research direction. It helps you focus. It shows you what is your scope. Then it also helps you what is the hypothesis. So it helps you establish the hypothesis, the relationship between what you are doing and what your research is. So what is the research design? So how are you gathering the data? How are you analyzing the data? All this is helping, all the conceptual framework is helping us in clarifying the research direction, identifying the key relationships, improving the research design. So basically the conclusion is, basic and applied research, they both are different. So they are connected with theoretical insights, often leading to practical advancement. A well-structured conceptual framework is very important for defining research variables, establishing theoretical functions, and ensuring a clear research direction. This framework enhances the study's coherence, means understandability, and contributes to meaningful scientific inquiry. Scientific inquiry means research. If you want a meaningful research, you must have a proper conceptual framework.